Welcome back to Golf Xtra. As the war between LIV Golf and the PGA Tour rages on, it's only natural to wonder when it will ever end. Well, we're here to tell you that the end might be coming sooner than you think, given how much financial trouble LIV seems to be in. Stay tuned here on Golf Xtra as we give you all the details on LIV's latest money problems. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this one. Now, let's get right into LIV Golf's major financial issues. At this point, golf fans have gotten used to LIV Golf and their Saudi Arabian funding organization throwing around gargantuan sums of money. This was most notably with the 9-figure signing bonuses that they tempted top PGA players with, but also with the huge amounts of money that they spend on production of their lavish events, even with a limited amount of revenue coming in. LIV even tried to rent out one of golf's most exclusive venues at perhaps the most well-known golf event, as detailed in a recent New Yorker article. At the Masters one year, according to a person familiar with the conversations, they asked about renting Augusta National's clubhouse to host a meet and greet for top golfers. Obviously, they weren't able to pull that off, but the ambition behind their efforts shows just how far LIV is willing to go to get their golf league off the ground. However, all this ambition might be coming to a screeching halt, considering that recent reports have implied that LIV's finances are not quite as limitless as they seem. As a part of an ongoing litigation against the PGA Tour, LIV has filed a series of motions that have shed some light on their internal business operations. One of these filings, which was revealed in February of this year, was in response to the PGA Tour attempting to further delay a court date in the PGA LIV antitrust lawsuit, which is currently scheduled to be litigated in court in January 2024. LIV's filing on the matter read, "The Tour's motion to amend should be denied because the amendment would be futile, would cause unfair prejudice, was unduly delayed, and is obviously intended to inappropriately delay the case and resolution of plaintiffs' antitrust claims." It continued by saying, "Delay will equally harm LIV because the Tour continues its anti-competitive conduct while the litigation is pending. The Tour has damaged LIV's brand, driven up its costs by hundreds of millions of dollars, and driven down revenues to virtually zero." While lawyers are known for exaggerating their arguments when necessary to get what they want, the claim that LIV's revenues are virtually zero certainly raised some eyebrows in the golf world. LIV attorney John Quinn tried to play down the statement by explaining that LIV Golf was still a young business, saying, "A startup only has a certain window of opportunity. There's still a need for some urgency." However, this didn't serve to quell concerns all that much. Going back to that New Yorker expose, they were able to dig a little bit further into the details of LIV's financial state, and the answers might change what you think about the rebel golf organization. The article read in part, LIV CEO Majed Al-Sarrour said the PIF had funding for LIV through 2025. By then, he imagined they would begin to cash out by selling off ownership in their 12 teams. The franchise model is how LIV plans to recoup its investment. Sarrour envisions owners building home golf courses, like a stadium for a football team. While this paragraph might seem somewhat innocuous, in reality it aims to turn the game of golf on its head. Traditionally, golf has been played on neutral sites, with players competing as individuals. This game is beloved by fans across the world, but LIV's model aims to turn the game into more of a team sport, similar to football or rugby. Whether that's a good or bad thing is up for debate, but the deadline of 2025 seems to have been set for the organization to survive until. It might seem like LIV Golf went into this venture with no real plan, but in fact, they had gotten a consultancy report done by the well-known firm of McKinsey & Company back in 2021. The report, which was titled Project Wedge, is a very interesting read for anyone who is interested in how LIV's business operations will work. The resulting document, which was confidential until being revealed by the New York Times in December 2022, listed a series of benchmarks that the organization needed to hit in order to be successful. For instance, the McKinsey report detailed that to have the best chance of success, LIV Golf would need to sign each of the world's top 12 golfers, attract sponsors to an unproven product, and land television deals for a sport with declining viewership, all without significant retaliation from the PGA Tour it would be plundering. Looking back at that 2021 report in 2023, it looks pretty optimistic. First off, LIV did see substantial retaliation from the PGA Tour, who constantly hit back against LIV's every move as the rival league tried to get its start. Secondly, LIV hasn't had too much success in pulling key players away from the PGA. The report lists players like Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy as part of the top 12 golfers in the world, but LIV has only secured the services of 4 of those 12 in Sergio Garcia, Henrik Stenson, Dustin Johnson, and Phil Mickelson. However, the report also laid out a different scenario, one in which LIV could be losing $355 million per year by 2028, which could include LIV being, by contrast, a league mired in startup status, defined as attracting less than half of the world's top 12 players, navigated a lack of excitement from fans, reeling from limited sponsorships, and confronting severe response from Golf Society. Unfortunately for LIV, this does seem closer to the current situation. But how did they get here? We know about the big player salaries, but what's going on behind the scenes? A recent Sports Illustrated article shed some more light on the LIV operations, saying, one of the bigger issues of 2022 was large expenditures that were either necessary but not approved or unnecessary and unaccounted for, supposedly to the tune of $180 million. As a result, LIV's benefactor, PIF, the Saudi private investment fund, forced out certain executives during the offseason, including LIV Golf Managing Director Majed Al-Sarur and Chief Operating Officer Atul Khosla. The PIF is now more involved in the day-to-day operations of LIV Golf, which is still a work in progress and showing growing pains as it hopes to mature into a full-fledged alternative to the PGA Tour. Perhaps the most troubling thing for LIV is that some of their players have started to show signs of unrest. In the aforementioned Sports Illustrated article, an anonymous LIV player made some startling comments, which included, "Some guys through their contracts for this year are for 10 tournaments, not 14. But even with more tournaments, there's no bump in the guaranteed money they signed for. Last year, the players kept their share of the team winnings, but now that money goes back to the team. I heard one guy say, 'Why are we standing on a podium spraying each other with champagne when we don't get the money?' So that's interesting. And now there's talk that LIV leadership wants to put more of the total purse toward the team component. But again, guys have it in their contract that they would be playing for $20 million on their own. So you can imagine there's a lot of conversation right now. Adding on even more, a different anonymous player chimed in with even more claims. Every expense is getting double and triple checked now. Decadent buffet with hot entrees and a cornucopia of desserts, cold sandwiches and pre-packaged cookies. Okay, bankruptcy is one thing, but pre-packaged cookies? That's just cruel. It certainly seems like LIV is in a tough spot, but there are players in the organization who still like where they're at. Take Kevin Na, who recently delivered the following quote, "There is a ton of money out here, and I already got a ton. If you play well, you're going to win a ton more. I'm not worrying about the details." In a nutshell, that's the current state of play for those on the LIV Tour. Get your money while you can and hope that the tense situation between the PGA Tour and LIV comes to some resolution. And for LIV's sake, hopefully sooner rather than later. So, what do you think about LIV's financial situation? Do you think they'll survive until 2025? Be sure to leave us a comment with what you think down below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you can watch our latest content updates as soon as they drop. We'll catch you in the next one. Have a great day.